Yo, this is the Inflection Collective. All of us are connected, reflective, real life perspective, respected. The banter, the chit chat, no cap is big facts, so kick back. This here is done there, been there.
And we are here. Episode 1 of the Done There, Been That podcast. I am your host, Mike Hill, but obviously I am not alone. You see this talented, smiling, beautiful young lady hailing out of Bessemer, Alabama, Miss Eunice Elliott, a multi-hyphenate, talented comedian, actress. She does it all. And she's my homegirl because I am also from, let me say it right, Eunice, Belma, Alabama. Because that's how we pronounce it down there.
It's not how it's spelled, but it's how it sounds when you're from there. It's Belma. We don't do
Belma.
that.
It is spelled Bessemer, Bessemer, but Belma down there. And everybody who lives in Belma understands that. I'm so excited about this podcast, Eunice. I'm so excited to have you as my co-host as well.
Likewise, Mike, we have crossed paths for decades, and we have always said we would find a way to work together. And look at us now. Mama, we made it.
We from straight out of Bessemer doing big things on the national stage. And I'm so excited about this because the title of the podcast is fitting because I've always wanted to do a podcast, but I wanted to wait for the right one to come along. And Done There, Been That is that type of podcast. The title says it all right there. We've done there, we have been that. You know, so we talk about the world of sports. Now, I'd like to integrate the world of sports and pop culture, but I don't want to talk about their X's and O's. And like Stephen A. Smith, Skip, they do all that stuff. I don't give a damn if Michael Jordan's better than LeBron. I ain't never going to convince nobody otherwise. But when you're talking about taking sports topics and talking about these athletes and some of the things that they go through in life and how it can relate to somebody in the everyday world who don't even freaking like sports, this is what we're talking about. So this is the mix that we're going to have on this show.
And also, both of us have had very interesting and storied backgrounds and careers. So we're not just offering our opinions on the hot topics. We're offering you perspective because either we've done there, we've been that, or we know the person who has. Mike, you mentioned being from Bessemer, Alabama, but where have you been since then up to today?
I've been in the Air Force for 6 years in the Air Force. I've been in broadcasting for 29 years, been in cities like Nashville, Fresno, New York, Dallas, ESPN, been in Fox Sports for the last 10 years. I wrote a book called Open Mic where I basically told my entire life. I married a reality show star. Y'all seen me on Real Housewives of Atlanta. We're going to get into all that. I'm telling you, it's good. This is what I'm talking about. If you want to hear details, I'm talking about very transparent details about our lives. This is the right podcast for you. So we're not just going to talk about other people and give opinions on what they're going through. We're going to show you and tell you how we relate to that because once again, we've done there and we've been that. What about you, Eunice? Tell us.
I'm not going to be telling my business. We didn't discuss
Yes, you are.
this.
Yes, you are. No, Eunice, let me tell you something about you. You do it anyway on Instagram. You talking about your dating life. All these men, you stop dating. You say you retire from dating, but we're going to get your ass up out of retirement. No, well, your ass going to be like a boxer. Like boxers always retire and they come out of retirement. By the end of this podcast, when it ends, maybe 5-6 years from now, hopefully, you will have, we're going to go through about 5 or 6 boyfriends by then, hopefully. But we're going to find the right one. You know what?
Well, listen, possibly, Mike, because you are somebody that will get married. So you might rub off on me. I ain't done it once, and you've done it a bunch of more than onces.
I've done it 3 times, and the last marriage was so quick. It was the last one was quick. I've been married a total of 22 years. If you add all 3 of them up, I've been divorced 3 times as well. Now the last one didn't last that long, as you know. My last one was so goddamn short that they sent me the marriage certificate and divorce decree at the same goddamn time. The state did.
So here we go.
It's motherfucker, we want to stamp. I'm just saying.
We're not gonna get in your business like that on this episode, but it's coming. It's coming. But when I said I have known Mike for over 25 years, he graduated high school with my sister, so he's much older than me. And then we first connected when I left Alabama, Roll Tide, went to Alabama. Moved to Connecticut, worked at ESPN. You had time there. Went to Nashville, worked for the Tennessee Titans. You were in Nashville. Went to the Orange Bowl committee in Miami, worked in Atlanta. And now that I'm out here in LA, we're reconnected again. But we have had so many times that we have said, we got to work together. Another famous Bessemer alumni is D'Amico Ryans, head coach of the Houston Texans. I worked for him and we were partnering with some things with media and the youth camps. And so what we're going to do now is go through some of the headlines that everybody's talking about and offer our perspective. and a little bit of opinion.
We're going to do it. We're going to do it. So let's get right into it. Once again, please subscribe to the Done There, Been That podcast. We're going to get all the information you need to know at the end of this. This is going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be very insightful. We're going to be very transparent. Regardless of what Eunice says, she's going to tell you her goddamn business. I ain't just going to be here talking about, and Eunice ain't going to sit up here and share her damn stories.
No business.
Okay. All right. So like business, like let's talk about it because it is breakup season and it's something I know about. Like you said, I do get into relationships, but I also know how to break up. But I break up on a cordial basis for the most part. Now I know because I've matured a lot for the most part. I want to talk about this because what we do is we'll take a sports topic and we'll relate it to everything that's happening in life. This Ime Udoka situation with LeBron James. I don't know if you saw that over the weekend when the Houston Rockets played the LA Lakers, but Ime and LeBron got into it on the sidelines. And if you listen to the audio, some choice words were being said. LeBron didn't like it. I guess Ime was calling him, LeBron and some of his teammates acting like a bitch. And LeBron says, I'm a grown man. Don't use that word so loosely. And Ime basically said, what you going to do about it? So they could have gotten to the squabble, and a lot of people said LeBron could have come back and clapped back. Ime got tossed out. Now, here's the thing, Eunice. Ime Udoka's a good coach. He got the Houston Rockets playing some good basketball this season. I mean, before they went on to a little losing streak, they had a winning record. And this is the Rockets, a terrible team. He was a good coach in the Boston Celtics. But the problem is, as soon as that shit came out, guess whose name was trending? It wasn't LeBron's name. It wasn't Ime's name. It was Nia Long's name. Now, everybody remembers what happened with Nia Long. The reason that Ime is not the coach of the Boston Celtics anymore because of what happened with the affair that Ime had with somebody in the Boston Celtics. It got out, got leaked. He got fired. Nia Long found out about it through that, and they broke up. And obviously, Ime became enemy number one to a lot of black women out there in the world. And it's something I know about. Obviously, I know about these types of things because I have been part of a public breakup before myself. Here's my question. Will Ime Udoka ever be known for anything besides breaking Nia Long's heart, even if he breaks records as a head coach and wins championships in his league?
Okay, I have a couple of answers for you. Mm-hmm. Most of us didn't know Ime until he got fired for cheating on Nia. Who is this man? I do not know this man. Start there. Okay. Number two, most men, even if they are considered high profile, are mostly known for who they date or who they marry because women are ultimately the prize. I said it. You have it recorded. Also, even when men are caught for bad behavior, they are very rarely held accountable for their bad behavior. What society does is then points at the woman that the bad behavior was done to, and they're talking about her. And it's like, wait, I didn't do anything in this story. Talk about him. Learn how to pronounce his name. Nia Long is also easier to pronounce. I also think that's another reason why she's instead of Ime.
I'm going to let you finish. Hold on a second. But do you realize who you're talking to right now? I mean, I don't know if you heard about me, but I don't know who you remember me being married to. I was in a high profile relationship with somebody.
And can I say something about you, friend? When you were in that high profile relationship, I don't feel you did yourself any favors when you were on the show surrounded by a bunch of women who are your friends. Don't put that in quotes. They were friends. Go ahead. Friends. We're all friends, aren't we? We're all friends, no matter how we start.
Okay. Aren't you a friend? Pretty friend?
I'm not a friend. No, I'm not a friend. I'm a friend.
What? No question. No
needed.
That's what I said. They were the same. They were friends. Go ahead. Finish. Allegedly. I'm sorry.
And so when you put yourself in a room full of alleged friends discussing how you really ain't never been a great dude in a relationship, it's hard for the public to then not think that you were the bad guy in the relationship by your own admission. You said you've matured, you've grown. We don't know the details and we don't need to know the details, but you have to understand in that situation, that particular scenario with you, I think you set yourself up for an ultimate L. So when you got divorced, everybody's like, oh, I'm not surprised. And everybody rolled the footage, that beautiful bean footage from the kitchen scene and said, oh, we knew that wasn't going to work out. And I think that's on you.
No, you know what? I will take some of the responsibility. I'll take
So,
accountability. Some women can't do, but I will do that. So I'm just saying. And
I
when
saw
I'm
you posted
wrong,
that video on your
no,
Instagram. I'm
I'm
talking
just
about
saying.
what you're
I'm
not
just
taking
saying. Like, yeah,
accountability.
yeah,
I saw
you
that
ain't
on your
never gonna say,
page.
never gonna say you're sorry. You're never gonna take accountability. That's okay. Some of you, not all of you, but some of you. But I will take accountability for my transgressions. Once again, I wrote a whole damn book about my transgressions in my past, about who I used to be and the person that I was becoming. When I was in that scene on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, there was a reason why I was surrounded by nothing but a lot of women, because guess what? My homeboys didn't want to be on that damn camera, being on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. They didn't want to be a part of that mess. I had to be a part of the mess because I was involved in a relationship with somebody that was on the show, and I had to support my woman, and that was going on. So when everything went down, because of, I've talked about the things in my past, about my transgressions, I like to call them sometimes, or my actual cheating. I'll just put it out there
Oh,
like that. In the
thank you so
past,
much.
in the past, in the past, and talked about how I've grown up. And the reason I wrote the book was to talk about how I've grown up and I've realized some of the mistakes I've made in my life. Then I moved on, and I was finally in a place where I was mature enough to be married again to a woman who was a queen. I could treat her like a queen because I feel like I have finally become a king. So I can understand how some people can view things. But once again, when it comes to M.A. Udoka or whatever, we don't know the whole extent of the situation with Nia Long. We know what was put out there in public. But once again, when it comes to how I feel about this with this situation, it's like I feel like this man has paid the price publicly. He's been dragged by multitudes of women and some men out there who thinks he's a fool for fumbling the ball or the bag or whatever they always want to say. And now, even to this day, I can put something on Twitter, and I've been divorced for a year, and I can put something on Twitter, and somebody will always try and come back with that little zinger, or let me just throw a little, oh, that's the reason why you ain't with CB now. I'm like, I ain't talked about her ass in a year. We ain't even discussing this. Why? What's that got to do with anything? So when it comes to the
Well,
Emmy
I'll tell you what
Udoka
it has to do
situation,
with
I
it.
wish people would just move on from talking about that and allow this man to coach and live his life.
I see why you would want that. But again, the only reason why Ime would be discussed at all, he's been a great coach for some years. We weren't talking about him. It's the same thing if you want to say Keke Palmer's ex or former. The only reason we know that man exists is because she had, I guess, community service hours to do and had a baby with him. I don't know.
So,
So a lot of
so
these men don't realize you're not shining because of your light. You are borrowing the
whoa,
light of a woman. And so when it
whoa.
goes down and you have mistreated this woman, yes, the smoke is going to come down for you. Hellfire shall be upon you. Rightfully so.
What the hell did I
Rightfully so.
sign up for? Is this episode
Rightfully
one?
so,
What
my
the
nigga.
hell did I
Come on.
signed up?
Now,
You're supposed to be
listen,
my
for
home.
you.
Now, hold on. Let me address that, because that you kind of triggered me, and I'm going through therapy right now. So please help me. I'm trying to help myself. I'm trying to
Okay, go
overcome
ahead.
all these
Breathe
things.
through it. Breathe through
So
it,
when
Mike.
you say, so you just talked about my accolades. You talked about the things I've been through. You
You were
talked
amazing.
about
No, I was
some
talking
of the
about
places
I
I've been.
wasn't talking about you taking your situation. Wasn't that you were borrowing shine? I was talking about Ma and Keke Palmer. I wasn't using you as an example for the shine.
So I will address Ime Udoka. Ime Udoka
Okay.
had a nice NBA career. Anybody that
Yeah.
follows the NBA would know that Ime Udoka, while he wasn't a star, while he wasn't an all-star, he was a very serviceable player who had a really nice NBA career. He was a player. Anybody that watched the NBA would know that. As a coach, he turned the Boston Celtics and helped them become a contender in the Eastern Conference. They were going to have a phenomenal season. He was going to take them to the NBA Finals and maybe even the championships last year, had he been the coach there last year. And with the Houston Rockets, a team that has been terrible for years, he has them competing at a high level, which shows what kind of coach he is. So yes, just
And
because
he never trended before he cheated on Nia Long and
but
scene.
okay, I get that, but that's in
That's
the
it.
entertainment or pop culture world. It
I'm
doesn't
saying
mean that this man
overall.
didn't
I'm saying
exist.
overall. Another current example that's going on right now. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Anybody
Right.
who watches or follows football knows that Travis
Well,
Kelce is a star stud football player.
right.
But it's so many more people know who he is now because of the Taylor Swift relationship.
But it goes
I'm not
both
saying nothing
ways.
against Travis. I'm just saying a lot of times men can be great at what they're doing, particularly athletes, but it's the woman they get with that puts them on the map. You see Teyana Taylor and Iman Schubert. He was a NBA player, rich in his own right, but in her own divorce filing, he had a problem with people being more excited about her. He only had a reality show because he was with her.
Now, I will
I'm just
say,
saying the proof is in the pudding. The proof is
I
in the
will
pudding.
say that as a person who marries a celebrity who has more following, more of a following, you have to be very secure in who you are because a lot of
Yes.
people will come for you. I have
Hmm.
seen on my page where a lot of people have said, I never heard of him before he was with Cynthia. Well, you probably never watched sports before because a lot of
Right.
people in the sports world had never heard of Cynthia before I got with her. So I've seen where men have had arguments or whatnot and with their wives or whatever, like, oh, that's Cynthia's husband. No, that's Mike Hill. That's the guy that's on
Right.
Sports Center,
Right.
ESPN, and Fox or whatever.
So
Oh,
we're
is he
saying the
married to
same
somebody on Real
thing. We're
Housewives?
saying the
But
same thing, Mike.
but
I
what
think
what
you
I'm
want to
saying we
argue, but
can't.
we're saying the
I,
same thing.
there's no argument because I don't argue anymore.
We're saying
But
the
see,
same thing.
the generalization of just because a woman is in a high profile situation and a man is in a high profile situation does not mean that that man never existed before. It just means that the people who followed that woman probably did not experience the world in which that man lived in, and vice versa. That's all I'm saying.
Which therefore that person never existed before to that person. And we're talking about the audience. We're talking about the people on social media. We're talking about the people who have MA trending could care less about his basketball accolades.
Okay,
That's all
you're
I'm
right.
saying. I'm saying
Okay,
he had a lot going on. We didn't care.
okay.
Still don't.
So prime example, and speaking of prime, look at that segue. I'm such a
Look at you.
professional.
You're
Prime
adorable.
example, prime. Just bro, and shout out to because I love both of them. Deion
Hmm.
Sanders and Tracey Edmonds. Two of them, they've been together for 10 years. Were engaged for I think 4 years, and they just announced their breakup over the weekend on Twitter. And we wish them well and Instagram. But two powerhouses. A lot of people
Hmm.
know who Tracey Edmonds is, but a lot of people know Prime did not know Tracey. But the
Hmm.
people who know Tracey Edmonds, they probably heard of Prime, but if they didn't follow sports that closely, maybe they did not know who he was. So
But I
once
also
again,
think this is not. But I think both of them have had their own names. And sometimes, let's say a Jay-Z and Beyonce. Sometimes two powerhouses get together, so it's not a matter of who didn't know whom and who brought whose audience to cross over. I think with Prime and Tracy, we came to know her as Tracy Edmonds when she married Babyface, and then she was with Eddie Murphy, and then so she's always had high-profile relationships beyond the fact that she's an executive producer and creator and in the industry. And then, of course, we've all known Dion. So I think that's not really the same case at all because we already knew these two people by the time they got together. They both were very common, well known entities and names. And I don't think their breakup is a surprise at all because I think between him being in Jackson, Mississippi to Colorado, Tracey ain't there. She's somewhere working and doing what she's doing, which ain't in Jackson, which ain't in Colorado. I think
oh,
it just ran its
okay.
course.
Yeah, just somebody sounds like they're a little bitter. I'm just saying, like you're not
I said it
surprised
ran
that
its course. What am I
these
bitter about?
these
I said it
these
ran its course.
people
I didn't, no one
these
to
people.
blame.
She was like,
How is that
sound.
bitter?
You
They're
said it with
both
a smile
pursuing
on your
their own
face.
lives at a very high level, and
So
sometimes it just means, hey, we've run our course. There is
this
nothing bitter about that.
sounds like somebody said it with a smile. Like
Wow, you
we
really
saw
don't
this
hear.
coming. Mm.
Oh my God. No, I didn't say I saw this coming. I said it sounds like it ran its course. And they are two people who are pursuing their careers at a very high level. So sometimes that means you're not going to be able to do it together. They love each other. They
I mean,
respect each other. They had a good run. There's nothing to be bitter about. It ain't none of our business. Start there.
mm-hmm,
But I think they had a
mm-hmm.
very amicable breakup. I think they've probably been separated for a while. Tracey has built a house in South Carolina. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
she probably has found some farmer and she's going out to
Oh,
pasture,
hold on. Like
live the
she's
rest of her
moved
life
on.
on a
So
farm.
let me ask you a question to that extent. Like if somebody is a mutual friend of them, but like they not that close. You know what I'm saying? I'm just asking for somebody. Like I'm just a
Wait a
hypothetical out there.
minute. Are you thinking about shooting a shot at any one of the parties of any of the relationships we have mentioned today?
No, absolutely. What me? Me?
Yeah, you.
Come on, man. I'm a change man. Would I do that as much
Yeah,
as
you
long as
would.
you've
That's what I'm
known me?
asking.
What,
No, the
why would
question
I
is,
do
you were asking me, would you do that? You're asking me, would it be okay if you did that?
I'm asking
Uh,
for a friend that because
mm,
I know somebody who knows both of them. And
mm-hmm,
actually, this person is a woman. See, why you going there? This person is a woman and she
mm-hmm,
knows both of them. And she might she likes Prime. She's always been a huge fan of
mm-hmm.
Prime. So I'm asking
And so
if this woman,
you're asking for your friend. What would you advise your friend? Would you say, yeah, shoot your shot?
I'm like, it depends on how close she is to Tracy. If they're friends who pass by and don't necessarily, they're associates and not necessarily friends. I think it's okay, especially in Hollywood. It's entertainment. I mean, you think about
Right.
look, what's the Harvey girl? I mean, I'm pretty sure
Lori
all those
Harvey.
celebrities
Oh,
that
now
she,
he
yeah,
don't know the Harvey girl's name.
yeah.
Lori Harvey
Well,
have so many men confused and bewildered. It's
but
hilarious.
what I'm saying is like so many of those people who are entertainers, I'm pretty sure they know of each other. You don't think Michael B. Jordan and the kid from Snowfall didn't know each other?
Yeah, but I
I'm just
mean,
saying.
but you date who you know. I think that's the thing. You're going to always have, cross pollination in relationships because you're in similar circles. It even makes sense when there's friendships involved because, hey, we have things in common. That's why we knew each other. And sometimes you have that awkward moment of, weren't they just dating this person? I think is very common. I think if everybody can be adults about it, it's, hey, I know it didn't work out with y'all, but I think I want to try. I want my turn. It looked
Okay.
fun from over here.
Okay. All right.
I'm just saying.
Sounds good to
Okay,
me.
but a
Okay.
lot of what we're talking about with these relationships is a lot of these relationships announce the breakups on social media. It's like they feel like they owe us, the general public, their followers, this information. And sometimes social media can kind of get a little weird when companies, not individuals, get involved. Recently, we still call it Twitter, but X, on the X platform, Adidas had kind of a petty tweet to Kevin Durant. So basically, Kevin Durant is a lifetime Nike guy. LeBron, Michael Jordan. He has this millions of dollar contract. And another player for the Minnesota Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards, said, "Hey, I would love to get KD in a pair of my signature Adidas shoes." And KD basically said, "Yeah, ain't gonna happen," in so many words. And then, but Adidas, the actual Adidas account on X, clapped back and basically called him a dusty who's about to be out the door anyway. Okay, Adidas, right?
I
And it's
love it.
like, wow, this seems unprofessional. But we're in a new world now because guess what? We would not be talking about Adidas tweeting if they didn't take it to the streets. They've
Right.
since deleted the account, but then they still doubled down on the shade on KD because they said, oops, I meant to send that from my burner account because it seems like a few years ago, we remember KD, it seemed like maybe he has some burner accounts where he tweets to fans and haters who talk
He
trash about
did.
KD, and he forgot to shift back one time when he was tweeting. That happened years ago. We don't know that that was
Yeah.
real.
No, it was real. He did it. He did
But
it.
what is it with companies getting into the fray with like us regular Joes or even the athletes when the actual shoe company gets into the fire?
Now, I think sometimes they may go over the line if they get too personal about something that is really sensitive. I think that's over the line, and you got to be professional with that. But what Adidas did to KD was a masterpiece. I thought
Really?
I loved it. I loved it because it was Kevin Durant. All I could see was Kevin Durant's ashy legs. You remember that picture, that infamous picture of Kevin Durant? So when they called him Dusty, all I could see was that rust on his legs. That's all I could
But you don't think that's
visualize.
taking it too far from a
Nope.
global brand to talk about
Nope.
somebody's ashy knees?
Nope. Because you're talking about their shoes. He's talking about their shoes. He basically said you
I
would
don't
not
think he was
find me
talking
dead
about
in
the
those.
shoes. He has a
Well, he's
lifetime contract with a rival brand. So no, you're
he's
not gonna catch me in them
he
shoes. It wasn't about
called
the
those
actual
shoes
shoes. It's about
ugly.
it's not gonna happen.
He called those shoes ugly. He called
Because
them
it's not
ugly.
his brand.
Well,
It's
he
not
could have
his
said
shoe.
he could have just written for his own brand, Nike, and said, you know what, I'm just going to do it over here. I'm not coming over
So
there. I'm
he
not
is
messing with
not
Adidas.
allowed to think that other shoes are ugly and say it
No, yeah, well, he
without
can
being
say it
called
all he wants
ashy
to.
in return.
Well, he's ashy. It's Kevin Durant. I'm sorry. Don't get me wrong. I love his mama to death or whatever, but Kevin Durant makes too much money not to put some oil on his skin every now and then. Or just like the hair. I'm
We
just
don't
saying.
know. He could have eczema. He could have a skin condition
Well,
where
he
ash
could.
flares.
He
Ash flares
could.
sometimes for people.
He
I
could.
don't
And
think
if
you
he
should judge
does, then
somebody's worthiness
if
as
he,
a human based on how much ash they carry daily.
well, I'm pretty sure there's some kind of
Happens.
coconut oil that's out there that can help him with that. I'm just saying, let's just throw something. You know what I mean?
I
I don't know.
think
And if
there's a
it
fine
is the
line.
case, I'm being insensitive. If I'm being insensitive, then I apologize to Kevin Durant. I don't think I'm being insensitive because Kevin Durant is the most sensitive athlete that I've ever covered in my life. He always claps back to somebody like that. But here's the thing about it, man. I love it because I think sometimes, even if you're a company and somebody comes after you, you should have the right to come back. I get how many times as a public figure being on TMZ or wherever you've been as a comedian, you see these trolls who don't have a face, who don't have an identity, just saying all the wrong shit to you. and you want to clap back and you don't say anything?
Let me tell you how I handle it. And I'm curious. I want to know how you handle your haters because you have more than me for sure.
Well, I do.
When somebody comes for me, what I generally do, I decide, do I have time today? Most times I do. And I will respond, right? And I will give it about 10 to 15 minutes to let this person see a notification, see a reply. And at that time, I then block them. Because now by the time they decided they want to say something back, you have lost the privilege because you did not manage yourself accordingly on my page. So if I have the time, I'm going to respond, I'm going to wait, and then I'm going to block.
Oh, so you're going to respond. You're going to throw the bomb back. You're going to throw the bomb back.
No. I don't throw a bomb back because a bomb is messy. I use a razor and I slice you in such a way that you don't know you've bled out until about 24 hours later when you can't come back and say nothing. No, I ain't throwing bombs. That's nasty.
You know, I used to respond all the time, but then I realized that I was saying things that's going to get me in trouble. You know, as a public figure or somebody out there, I'm going to say the wrong thing, and then all of a sudden I'm going to get called into the office. Right. Especially when I was, working in Bristol. When Twitter first came out, I got called in. As a matter of fact, I think that one of our producers on this show used to call me like, Mike, hey, calm down with certain things. I'm just saying, I ain't gonna call no names out, but I know when Twitter first came out, I was kind of loose with my tongue and my opinions on Twitter, and I got called into the office a couple of times. So I had to realize that as a public figure, even though they have their opinion, they could say whatever the hell they wanted to about me, then I couldn't say some of the things I wanted to, because I forget what Michelle Obama said. If you go low, I'm digging a grave. I'm telling you, I'm going that low. I'm going where the worms are.
Yes, and we've seen people's tweets come back and haunt them. We've seen people's tweets take away opportunities. And so I think we all had to learn how to manage ourselves with the introduction of social media, that, you can't just throw that bomb back. But also, I think when people do that, people wake up to be trolls, right? And it's just weird when a hater comes at somebody who's doing much better. So let me say, KD, I don't know KD personally. I don't know his ash levels, in general, but I know he's doing something really well at a high level. So there's somebody who is very moisturized at home, broke.
Yeah.
KD won that round. So I'm saying it just doesn't make sense.
But they're not moisturized. They're also broken. They're not moisturized. They don't have a pot to piss in.
They got that Jergens. They got the Jergens from the dollar store, and they talking trash about an ashy millionaire.
The Jergens don't help you with the ash, especially if you're dark.
At least 5 minutes. It's a little light. It's a little clear.
No, and it smells. I'm just saying, no harm against Jergens, because if we need them for
sponsor, you doing it again. You talking trash again.
I'm just saying, I ain't none, but I, got to use something that's a little bit more.
I love Jergens. Like if you would like to come on and sponsor the podcast, please. We would love it.
Here's the thing. I'll leave it at this. What I had to learn is that some people just aren't worth your time, right?
Exactly.
So you got to realize that they are haters. And a hater you have never met a hater that's doing better than you, right? So they want to punch up. They want to try and bring you down to their level. Don't allow them to bring you down to the level, because they can't achieve the levels that you've already achieved. So don't go down to it. So just leave them alone.
Now, were you looking in the mirror just now when you said that? Because you the one was calling Kevin Durant ashy.
I had to learn. No, I mean, but Kevin Durant.
Well, when did you learn? The last 10 seconds? That was a beautiful speech, but
it's facts. Those are facts. I didn't say.
No, I agree with you, but that goes against you calling Kevin ashy.
Is Kevin Durant ashy?
I don't know. I think he's probably a great guy.
No, I'm not saying ashy as like I'm talking about like literally. Have you seen?
Oh, you're talking about skin. And when I say, this is an ashy dude, I mean, that's why I'm retired from dating. But also, let me say this. I think it's weird. Well, I don't know. I feel like sometimes you've seen the burger wars. You've seen Chick-fil-A or Wendy's get into like a little beef on X. And it's fun because you see these big corporations and you're like, okay, they done got somebody young running their social media, and it's these fun, socially relevant clapbacks. I think that's cute and fun, and it's banter. I think it's different when an entire global shoe brand then attacks someone who's not signed to their roster just because they said, I'm not going to wear those shoes. I have a lifetime contract with my company. Not going to happen. Not that big a deal. Why even respond?
If he said it that way, I would agree. He didn't say it that way. He said, I basically said, I wouldn't get caught dead in them ugly shit. That's what he said.
No, he just said I wouldn't put he said I wouldn't put a toe in them MFers.
Pretty much.
Well, that's That's not what you said, though. I think it was an overreaction by Adidas. I think deleting it, that's the new way to say something and not say it, is say it and then delete it. You know, we already saw it. We've already screen grabbed it. We've already written the article about it. It's a way to say, oh, no, we were hacked. And then to double down with, I thought I was sending that from my burner account, is obvious that it's personal against Eunice and KD.
And it was a good burn, because that's exactly what KD has done. All right. Well, you know what? I don't know. Like, we get into pop culture as well. I don't know if you've seen any movies lately, but there's this movie that's out that I'm pretty sure that every woman that I know my daughter's going to go see it. Beyonce's Renaissance, the documentary.
Okay, I like the way you're trying to add. Like, there's this movie, there's this person. Don't play like you not no Beyonce fan. Don't act like that. Don't do that. I don't want you to do that today, Mike. You were better than that.
I mean, look, I am a fan. I am a huge fan of Beyonce.
Just be a fan.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'm going to go see the movie.
You're probably going to go see the movie. Did you go to the Renaissance World Tour? I don't know if I'm
going to see the movie. I'll wait until it's on.
Did you go to the tour? Did you go to the concert?
Talking about the burner.
Did you go to the concert, Mike?
I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford it. I can't afford that and then dress up as a spaceman. I mean, she wanted everybody to dress up as a spaceman and space women out there. I couldn't afford it. My daughter went. She sat up in the nosebleeds. I went to a concert before, and I will tell you this about Beyonce. I went to a Beyonce concert like 5-6 years ago at Dodger Stadium. And when I tell you that Beyonce has women in the palm of her hands,
why do you keep saying women? Why do you keep just saying women? She has women in her audience. Her audience is full of everybody, though. It's not just women in her audience.
I saw 10 straight men there, basically. Okay, then there's nothing wrong. Like, okay, so here's the thing. Like, I was there, and it was like I saw women and I saw men with their girlfriends who had taken them, who were forced to take them to the Beyonce concert.
What
women
is
probably did not want to go
to take them? Why would a woman have to force her man to go enjoy a wonderful, top-notch, A1 quality show and performance? No woman is having to convince her man to go enjoy a wonderful concert.
You're not going to. What we're not going to happen is you have me dragged by the Beyhive. So let me make myself clear. I am not saying there's anything wrong with Beyonce. I love Beyonce. I was there because I wanted to see the concert. I bought the tickets. And I happened to be with the girl at the time. So, but I was there. What I'm saying is Beyonce is so powerful that I felt as one of the only straight men in the place that if Beyonce at the time, this is the Beyonce that I was saying at that time, she was mad. This is the Beyonce that had come out after Jay-Z had done what he had done. And she was basically saying she's going to bust all kinds of shits up and all that type of stuff. This is when the Beyonce and the women of the world were mad because they were, what's that visual? What the fuck was that song that she had out where she was beating everything up with a bat? What was the name of that damn song? You remember? You're the Beyonce fan.
It was the Lemonade album. It was the Lemonade album.
So this is right. Yeah, sorry. I ain't sorry. All that shit. Come on, man. That was that Beyonce. And that was those women in the audience at that particular time that I went to that concert, right? And all I'm saying is if Beyonce would have told those people in the audience, those women, to turn on every man in that audience and kill us, they would have killed us and they would have never found our bodies. I'm telling you, this is the most powerful person on the face of the earth. Beyonce is. Because let me break it down for you. Who runs the world? Who runs the world?
Girl.
Who runs girls? Beyonce.
No.
Beyonce is the...
You. It's not about Beyonce. It's not about Beyonce. Let me tell you, as a girl who has gone to several Beyonce's concerts, it's not about Beyonce being our fearless leader. And if she tells us to turn on the men, it's a matter of turning to the man who did that to you. It ain't about her turning us against men. It's about turning to the man that did it. The end.
She's in your mind.
It's not in your mind. The reason why people love artists, whether it's a comedian, whether it's a writer, it's because you see yourself in the story. You relate to it. You're like, oh, I went through that too. So the same reason most athletes will listen to rap. You've never heard a low self-esteem rapper because guess what? When this rapper is talking about he's the best and he's the biggest, that gets you hyped up to feel the same about yourself. So it's not that they're turning their minds to think they're the greatest. It confirms what you already know. So when you see someone that you appreciate artistically going through the same things you're going through, you're like, dang, girl, he did that to me mean too. Dang, Beyonce going through the same stuff we going through. Let's go. Let's ride out. We ride at dawn.
I agree with you. Everything that you just said. Let me tap into something outside of all the the bashing of the men. Let me help you, because once again,
bashing men. It's not bashing men. It's sharing my experience and relating to shared experiences. No one has to bash a man. Let me clear this up right now. I am not a male basher. I will share my experience. If you hear it as bashing, that means you also feel his behavior was poor. I don't have to bash a man. I'm just going to tell you what happened. I don't have to add an opinion. I don't have to add insight. I'm going to say, we had a date at 7:30. He didn't show up. There you go, bashing men. No, I just told you what happened.
No.
Grown women don't bash men. We have no reason to bash men. Unfortunately, we love men. We actually hate that we love y'all as much as we do. We would have an easier life if we just didn't like you like that. But the point is, just because we share our experience, that does not mean we're bashing you. We are simply telling you what happened.
What I'm saying is,
Beyonce if you tell what happened, and we said, "Girl, me too." Let's go.
You talk about your experience. You talk about your experience with that one particular person.
Yes.
But when you throw in the entire male species, if you say men,
who has ever thrown in the entire male species? Who has ever? What woman has ever thrown in the entire male species?
So what I will say, Eunice, is that it goes both ways, because I know a lot of women bashers out there too. I know a lot of misogynist people. I know a lot of men who are very misogynistic, and I try and check them all the time. So it goes both ways. So once again, let me clarify that. Here's the thing that I'm saying about Beyonce, though. She has women, whether she's tapping in, because I do believe that you have to have a mind control in the sense where you be able to tap in so she can understand what you guys are going through, so she can relate to you and you relate to her, right? So with that being said, she's got you under her spell in a sense where if she tells you guys to do something, you're going to do it. That's why there is a Beyhive. Let me break it down. Here's one thing I'll say, and this is when, let me finish. This is when I knew Beyonce had you guys. There is no species on the face of the earth that can tell women to shut the hell up and y'all listen. Beyonce can tell y'all to shut the hell up and y'all listen. And then you get mad at other women when they don't shut the hell up after she told you to shut the hell up. Oh, we talking about that. What's that look? The challenge that she does at the concerts? The mute challenge. Everybody on mute. She tell y'all to shut the hell up, and y'all shut the hell up. Ain't no speak. When have you ever heard anybody on the face of the earth ever tell a woman to basically shut the you know what up, and they do it? Beyonce is the only one that's been able to make y'all do that. I wish I could have that song on repeat.
May I offer a rebuttal to this, sir? May I offer a rebuttal?
Go ahead.
Yes,
go ahead.
Thank you so much. Couple things. Don't act like you didn't know it was the mute challenge. Okay, start there. Moving on. There's a difference between everybody on mute and telling somebody to shut the hell up. Man, woman, or child, that's never going to be received well. So maybe, just maybe, your misogynistic friends, maybe y'all shouldn't think that women should shut the hell up, and then you would have lesser of a reaction when you would have the wish, right? There's a time and place for everything. If you're going to compare Beyonce's talent to a mind control, then I don't know that I have anything else to offer you on that. There's artists throughout history that have inspired people. It's artists that don't use words at all, and the music just inspires something. Where there's you in the gym or you running a marathon, people use music to inspire and motivate them in various ways. I don't think Beyonce had to think about what we're going through to tap into our minds. Jay-Z cheated on her. She made an album about her experience. We related to it because some of us haven't been cheated on. That's it. It's not her. Let me figure out what they might want to hear, and then I'll get them to all shut the hell up.
No, all I'm saying is that she's
much more devious than we are. It's a banger. It's a hit. We like to dance. We like to do things well. It's not sinister. It's not a plot against men. It's just a song. We like to dance. We like to dress up. We like to have a good time. It's okay, guys. It's okay. Don't let Beyonce trigger you, which I see is done.
No, she's not triggering me.
Beyhive, let me say this. Hands are free. Beyhive, do what you will with this man. Do what you will.
So hold on. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Beyhive. I have all due respect for Beyonce and Jay-Z and everything that they have in their relationships, their ups and downs, their highs and lows. I pray for them. I root for them. I love and support Beyonce. I support Beyonce when other women don't support her. I go for real. When there are a lot of women that don't support her and think that she's overrated and do all that type of stuff, I'm like, why is it that you don't like Beyonce? I do that. But I do wish I could just keep that everybody go on mute. I wish I could have that on recording. So anytime I want to watch the game and somebody's talking and I could just play it and say, everybody go mute. I just wish they could just, they'll be quiet. I just know that there is some power.
Okay, so everybody, that means the guys, you're not talking about a woman shutting the hell up. What you actually meant to say is you wish you had the power to make people be quiet when you're watching a game. And those people are probably men that are around you when you're watching the game. So you wish you had a way to tell the guys to stop screaming and being so loud when you're trying to watch the game. I received that. I don't think that's what you said the first time, but that's what you meant.
Okay. So now that you've gotten me dragged on the first episode of Been There, Done That,
you dragged yourself.
With you guys.
You dragged yourself, sir. You dragged yourself.
I didn't. I think you just misinterpreted because you guys can't be on the same frequency and understand.
You guys, who's you guys? Who is you guys? I'm here with you.
I'm with you.
Ooh, boy, you dragging yourself, sir. The hits not. Write themselves. Y'all get them.
Can I tell you something?
Please.
I've been there. I can handle it. I got scars. My skin is very tough. I can handle it all. Eunice, this has been very entertaining.
This has been very entertaining.
This may be the first and last episode of Done There, Been That.
Mike, I think you giving too much. You giving too much. We will learn to hate you over the course of several seasons. I think you put too much in the first episode.
I don't, but I am being myself. So I'm being my authentic self. This is who I am. Love me or hate me. There's going to be a lot of people that's going to love. There's going to be a lot of people that hate. So the thing is,
because I've known you so long, I love you because I know your heart. I know you want to be a great man. I know you are doing the steps and the works to be a great man. I know you love women. I know you support your friends. I know all those things. I also know you say some wild stuff, my boy, and that's on you. Okay, that's on you. But 2 things and 3 things and 4 things can be true, Mike. It's okay. You gonna say something crazy all the time.
Here's the thing: I say what a lot of people are thinking, but they're afraid to say it. That's exactly
you never
what
say
I do.
that. Yeah, you say what people know better not to say. Yes, I agree.
Okay.
Now we're talking about Beyonce. You're a fan. You're not in the Beehive. I'm not in the Beehive. I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm.
But if we were to check your let's say top artists, you got Apple. You want to pull up your Apple? We're curious. For ourselves, what are our top artists? What are our top songs? And see what it says about you, what you're putting in your mind, what you're putting in your heart.
Wow.
What would Apple say you are listening to the most? Now, I looked at mine, I pulled mine up, and I'm a little bit surprised at my number 1 top artist at 955 minutes. It's not Beyonce. Beyonce is actually number 2 with 831 minutes of playtime in my Apple Music. My number 1 at 955, Rick Ross.
Rick Ross. Oh, okay. Wow.
This is number 1. Beyonce's number 2. I don't know what to tell you. I didn't know.
Who's your top? Wow. I think this may say something. Wow. Now that we've already decided that I'm maybe like a female basher, misogynistic, and I don't like women. The fact that Future is number 3
says a lot. Says a lot.
But I just
sir.
I just have like these playlists that just my daughter downloads this stuff.
It's the algorithm. Your daughter downloaded it.
Little Baby's number 1, Drake's number 2, and Drake's been kind of dragged lately by women as well. Gunna and Moneybagg Yo. I don't even
Who is this man, America? America, who is this man? So I have Rick Ross, Beyonce, Meg Thee Stallion, makes sense. Tyler the Creator. And my number 5 is the Teskey Brothers. Don't know if you're familiar.
I have
soul
no idea
singers,
who that
if you
is.
will. Soul singers. But my number 1 album is Renaissance. My number 1 album is Renaissance. My second album is the soundtrack from Hamilton. And scene.
And my number 1 is Ready to Die still, because I love Biggie. For All the Dollars by Drake. All Eyes on Me is number 3. And 90s R&B. And then Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers by Kendrick Lamar. There you have it. All right.
Albums than your artists.
I think we're off to an interesting start here on Been There, Done There, Been That podcast.
Pull back a little bit, Mike. Pull back.
I can't. That's why I have kids. I don't know how to pull back.
Wonk, wonk.
I'm just
Mike,
saying.
This is a joy. We'll see how long this lasts.
It will.
We'll see you next time. Make sure you
listen to that. Okay, listen to Done There, Been That on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. And make sure you check out our social media handles. Inflection Entertainment. First of all, thanks to Inflection Entertainment, Michael Smith and Sharita Johnson, everybody over there. Just thank you. Yeah, Terrence Williams, thank you for everything, giving us the opportunity right now. You can also follow us on our personal pages on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at It's Mike Hill, ITS Mike Hill. And Eunice,
at
you got
Eunice
your own
Elliott.
name, don't you?
Yes, my whole name, at Eunice Elliott. 2 L's, 2 T's.
Ain't that many Eunices in the world. I mean, I don't think that many Eunices on Twitter or Instagram. They on Facebook, though, probably. Yeah, you got one of them names. That's
Sounds
okay.
like a hater to me.
I'm just saying, no, it's good. Your mama gave you the name. It's good. I'm happy. I love your mama, too. I love your sister as well. But we're going to do this next week, I hope. And I'm going to come back so soft. And I'm going to come back listening to Beyonce, and I'm just going to be a better person. I promise everybody out there. So Beyhive, don't come for me. But check us out. Please subscribe. Listen to us. We appreciate all the support and all the love that you've given us already on social media. And we'll be back next week. God willing. God willing.
Good luck, Mike.